happen early on, to reach playoffs, to go beyond that. Hasn't happened just yet. I would really love to see Finn bring out kled. I know it's not going to happen here, but he is really well known for the pick, and it's something that we don't really get to see in pro play these days. But first pick, Azir, going to be coming out for Dignitas and the Olaf. Seems like the natural response with Hecarim, with Udyr already banned out.
Yep. Well, Olaf is locked in. Azir locked in, as you already mentioned. Going through the bans, since I was talking about other stuff when those happened, it's Senna, Irelia, Twisted Fate, Seraphine, Hecarim, and Udyr all banned away. CLG thinking about what else they want to draft next to that Olaf here. Let's see what it's going to be. Hovering over Bard for quite a while, but Bard doesn't feel like one of those champions that you just lock in second pick, having only seen the enemy mid laner. Rell, however, is a champion that you lock in whenever and wherever you can because of her power in the current metagame, and that will be the pick here for CLG.
Strong to engage with, strong to peel with, really does work very well overall. Kaisa, another real hard hitter in the meta these days. And this is where it starts to get a little bit more interesting if we're going to see parity or not, because Dignitas just locked in their bot lane. You know, they have their mid lane now. So at the very least, CLG does have their jungler locked in, and Dignitas does not. Of course, when you're going against Dardoch, I don't even think it's worth spending second round bans on Dardoch, because you probably have no idea what he's going to play anyway. You may as well throw a dart at the wall. And you'll have as good
yeah,
a
you're
chance
just like, well, which one of these will it be? Well, instead, they're just going to go ahead. They've got so it's mid laner, bot laner versus jungler bot laners for the two sides here. So slightly mismatched, but everything in the bottom lane's taken care of.
Right, so it could be the Azir versus Tristana matchup. We did just see that, so there is that possibility. You always have to watch out for that. But of course, it could be Turtle piloting it. Always love the Tristana here early, but you know there is still the threat of both of the solo lanes being picked later for CLG, so they're going to have their ability to answer that. You know, I do think likely we'll see the last pick left for top lane. We'll see exactly where they do want to ban though. Gnar going to be banned out here. Aurelia has already been banned out, so a little bit of a thinning of the pool up in top lane, but nothing too extreme. Renekton is still available, one of those big picks that has fallen in priority somewhat, but is still actually very, very strong in the meta, has performed extremely well in North America, and has a lot of really strong pairings with some of the popular junglers out there. You know, Lilia, of course, can be good, but Nidalee plus Renekton, even Talia plus Renekton, which has fallen off, but those are both really strong pairings and are available.
Zoe, Lilia, Gnar, all banned away. What's the last one going to be here from the side of Dignitas? It will be the Syndra, recognizing that CLG must at least blind pick one of these laners. They want to make sure, but then again, Syndra already knows she's going up against the Azir, so it doesn't really matter that much, but they will at least protect Azir from that matchup where he could get bursted out. So let's see what CLG wants to go for here. I expect them to leave that top lane choice for last. Yep, and then Viktor's picked up, so that means Tristana will be bottom lane.
I actually really like Viktor in the meta. It is something that is not nearly as popular as some of those other big three, but you know, with Orianna still on the table, they do elect to go with Viktor anyway. Does have really long-range wave clear. The team fighting is very powerful, and this champion scales exceptionally well. You do have the ability to absolutely zero people out. When you get to, you know, the 2-3 item mark, when you have a Lich Bane, when you have your upgraded abilities, the burst potential is absolutely incredible if you can get up on some of these squishy targets. So a pretty strong pick overall. And it will be Renekton. Could be, you know, Renekton plus Nidalee, like I was talking about. I think that would make sense here, but it is Dardoch, so we don't really know exactly where he wants to take us.
Hey!
That pairing's a classic, right? You know, it's so strong, and there's nothing that you're really going to be that... Oh, kled!
There you go, Isaac! There we go!
Okay.
You were talking about, you said you know he ain't going to pick it, but
well,
there it is!
Blind pick it first, right? You know, there's no way that was going to happen. This is the first time he's actually played it since coming over to NA. kled is initially how Finn kind of made his name for himself in pro play. He really was specifically known for this pick. It was kind of his pocket pick, and I used to watch a fair bit of his games in EU just anytime he would bring it out. I would love to go watch that because this is one of my favorite champions. I will say, when you talk to a lot of, you know, the top level kled players, Renekton is a matchup they're sometimes scared of. kled plus Olaf, though, is an incredibly strong duo. So if you are bringing the junglers up and getting them involved, I do like that. But I will say that like Fiora, Jax, Renekton can all be fairly difficult. And one of the reasons is simply that, you know, Renekton, if he can get you dismounted, can then back off, wait till the stun comes back up, and then often burst you down before you have the opportunity to remount. Like, that is the really scary thing, is that these champions that have CC plus burst, you don't get enough hits off to actually get your courage back and remounted. That is what he has to really watch out for. If you can play well around that, either stay mounted in the first place, not get dismounted initially, or only look for these aggressive plays when the Olaf is up there, then I think it can work really well. And to be honest, teams aren't going to have a lot of practice playing against it. You also have a good way in for the Olaf in the team fight. You pop the ulti, you give incredible amounts of move speed to everyone coming in behind you, which can work wonders for someone like an Olaf.
And I do love seeing Finn on a pick that, like you're saying, he's played before. He knows this champion. He's comfortable on it. If you're sitting on a 1-10 record, take some chances like that. Play out of the meta. Use the comfort pick. Toss them a curveball and see if they know how to hit it. And that's the challenge that CLG is issuing with this kled pick.
And he's done very well on it. You know, 10 games all-time in pro, 8-2. And he has not always been on, you know, the most dominant team. So it's not like he has, you know, 80% win rate on all his champs and it's just another one on the list, right? You know, this is his highest win rate of any of the champs, you know, above 2 games. So, you know, this is kind of like his most successful champ with really any games under the belt. So I'm really excited to see how he performs on it. I do think that Finn has been a standout member for CLG. I think that while I didn't have high expectations for him, you know, he was considered a weaker member on his team coming over from EU. He's a very young guy, and I think he has played well overall for CLG. They have not been able to make things come together as a squad, but at least Finn feels like, all right, this is a young player. He's looking pretty promising, someone you can maybe build around, and I want to see if he can perform on this kled.
And the other thing I'm going to be watching this game, and just in general for CLG, is Pobelter, right? He was subbed out early on, whatever the reasons are, not going to waste time speculating that here, but he subbed out, RJS replaces him. Now he's back in, RJS is back out, and we've got Pobelter being the one who's supposed to come in here and help this squad get to a salvageable place. Pobelter has done things like this in the past. We remember him coming into teams and trying to make some plays and magically materializing a couple of wins out of thin air. But at the same time, it is a tall, tall task, Azael.
It really is. And I think one of the hardest things is when your team is really in a slump, and anyone who knows this, who has played anything from competitive gaming to sports to whatever, when you keep losing, it can get in your head, right? And it really can affect the mental. You lose confidence in your strategies, you lose confidence in your practice. So that's where sometimes having a new player come in can hopefully reset the mental a little bit, can bring a bit of positivity into the team, and hopefully CLG can find something to build on there, because they need to start picking up wins, if not for spring, then for summer, and any chance at trying to make it in towards Worlds.
Yeah, I'm going to go ahead and go out on a limb right now and say that CLG will not be winning anything in spring. If I am wrong, I gift 1,000 subs in LCS chat. But I don't plan on... That's a lot of subs, yeah, because I'm not going to be wrong. But Dignitas is now maybe having their top laner in the wrong spot. Okay, FakeGod's getting away. He's just fine. He's not too worried about it. But yeah, CLG, it's a long-term plan, right? Like, there's a lot of things to fix. They've got to be fixing those things. They've got Pobelter. They've got Finn. Everything's ready to go. This is what they wanted to have from the very beginning. Broxah is here too. Can they make it work? Do they have what it takes to bring everything in this roster together? Because as you pointed out, and I think this is one of the most important things, it's not a development roster, man. This is not one of those rosters. It's like, hey, let's bring up a bunch of green new names from the amateur scene. You know, like brand new guys nobody's ever heard of, like WildTurtle and Pobelter. That's just not the case. We need to see performance.
Yep, they definitely do. I liked the attempt at the invade there from CLG, and had FakeGod been sleeping a little bit and leveled, you know, a skill before actually seeing someone, he could have at least forced the flash there. But because he held onto the skill point, that's something that you always talk about. Don't level a skill until there is a reason to do so. He holds onto the skill point, the invade comes in, but he just levels his E, slice and dice to safety. But still, that forces out that wasted skill, which means that Finn gets full priority at level 1 here. And that's actually a big deal in matchups like this, when you are playing these aggressive matchups into a Renekton. Making the Renekton fully seed control of the wave is going to be a pretty big deal, and I'm going to be interested to see if Finn wants to actually hold his W skill point. Oftentimes what kleds will do is at level 2, you actually just don't skill up a point, and you wait until you have a fight, and then when you dismount, you level your W so that you have these reckless swings, the quick attacks coming out, and you can go for a quick remount. And that basically allows you to have a one-time only on-use W activation, right? Otherwise, it just gets wasted on the minions, and then when it's on cooldown, they will engage. And I think we are going to see him do that. See, he hits level 3, he levels up the E, and he'll just hold on to that W point until he actually needs to do it for an all-in or for a remount. And I think that's something that you always want to see kled players going for. It just can make that first fight so much more effective.
This is the most big brain kled thing I've ever heard in my life. You are doing for kled facts what I do for Skarner facts. I never even thought about that before. It always registered to me that, yeah, W just gets wasted on minions a lot because you can't control when it activates.
Yep.
But saving the skill point, I like this. Is why you're the literal world champion.
It's a one-time active,
This is why you're the literal world champion, bro. You get to cast that spell one time per game. Yep. You think summoner spells are rough because of a 5-minute cooldown? Try a full hour cooldown. Damn, talk about needing to get value. That is a long cooldown. Whoa, nice interrupt there. Turtle still manages to clear the wall, but that was so close. Smoothie with the re-engage here. Aphromoo is your target, and it is steak for dinner tonight. First blood over to Broxah.
Sometimes you're the hero, sometimes you're the zero, and just barely. Aphro does not stop Turtle from going over the wall there, so they can actually turn around on that engage. I mean, if he stopped him on the right side of the wall, he would have taken so much damage that probably CLG can't turn around that fight. Instead, just barely short. And CLG already out to an 800 gold lead here. They have the additional farm. The Olaf was already ahead on camps. Now he's going to be able to get this topside scuttle very likely. I mean, he's double buff. I don't think Dardoch wants this.
Oh, Dardoch, you got to be careful about that one, buddy. Oh, no, Aphromoo headbutts him away, but he does not land a pulverize. Finn is now involved here in the fight, flashing forward for the second half of the bear trap on a rope. But goodbye, little baby kled. See you later, buddy. Don't worry, Pobelter's coming along for the ride. A double kill for Dardoch, a max range spear. Get over here. Triple kill for Dardoch in the jungle.
Oh, my God. Just like that, the wheels fall off. We're only 4 minutes in.
No.
But Dardoch with a triple kill. It was a great early start there from CLG. They had one out in the early pathing. They had gotten the kill on the bottom side, grabbed themselves first blood. Off of this was just barely too slow. Aphromoo not getting the interrupt before Turtle gets over the wall. And then Smoothie finding the opening, flashed in with the W, the stun to follow up. Broxah knocks him down. And then there was that subsequent skirmish up on this top side. FakeGod coming in from the top. Soligo had really good positioning, is getting a lot of damage out from the side here. And the key thing is, Finn gets dismounted, levels his W, but then the stun was actually saved by FakeGod. He didn't waste it early on the mounted kled. He waited until he was dismounted, then stunned. He couldn't get the attacks off, couldn't get the remount. And unfortunately, Broxah, unable to sidestep that spear, means they can flash in and kill him off. At the very least, though, CLG will be able to grab a dragon for themselves, and the gold is still fairly even, so we'll have to track, can Dardoch snowball the game from here? Because he was the big beneficiary of what happened. Turtle farmed out bot side. He is up in farm. The wave was actually really bad for FakeGod when they took that fight. It was pushing towards Finn and stacked up, so that's why Finn has a big CS advantage. So we'll have to track what Dardoch can get done from here.
Okay, Dardoch 3-0 on a powerful jungler like a Nidalee. This is his chance to shine very, very brightly. FakeGod continues to be just fine up here in the 1v1 against that kled. Dardoch with the double buffs prowling around this bottom side river. He will find a way into the enemy jungle, but he has to clear out this ward first. And it's not like there's any camps down here anyway. Broxah has been clearing through everything very effectively, as Olaf does, so not really much of a chance for Dardoch to farm anything in here, as Soligo will at least place down some vision to sort of keep an eye on when those camps are coming up and when Dardoch can try to make a move.
Dardoch going to be invading pretty aggressively, but you can see Smoothie's already moving up towards the top side, and Dardoch has been spotted. So there is a chance to turn this around.
Oh, and once again, they end up killing off kled before he's able to use the remount. Very well done, coordinated here from Dignitas. The kill will once more go over to Dardoch, and Nidalee is 4-0.
Yeah, the Rell roam was coming up, but Aphromoo was faster on the play, now scooping in the Viktor.
Oh, Soligo has the angle. Pobelter with the flash staying alive. Aphromoo might just die to the Chaos Storm, but there's enough distance to still remain safe from that one. I'm surprised that Azir ulti hit him. It looked like it was a little bit too far to the side, but the very edge of the hitbox pulls Pobelter away and ends up making him use his flash.
Got them thick thighs, got caught right on the edge, pulled back in.
Colonel, I'm trying to get past the wall, but I'm dummy thick.
All right, well, Dignitas getting active on the map. Aphro, yes, he failed on that first play, but he has been very proactive. He bought the early Moby boots off their skirmish topside and just books it straight towards top. FakeGod going back to the minion to hit 6 and level up the ultimate and immediately pop that. He would have just died to Finn 1v1 potentially if he had not had the presence of mind to get that last little bit of experience, to get the ultimate to pop it. But once he does do that, again, saving the stun for the dismounted form. Aphro's there for the follow-up. It guarantees the spear will land. And if you just keep getting killed off before the remounts, it tends to continue happening throughout the game. You know, you kind of hit this threshold where you're just not strong enough to ever survive for the remount, and kled really does depend on that so heavily. You know, you've got to get yourself in a position where you can play aggressively. It's a one-note champion. It's go forward, right? And if you can't do that, you are worthless. And you've got to be able to be strong enough to survive through that potential burst to get remounts, or you can't make anything happen.
Well, down here in the bottom side, Neo and Aphromoo are still having to try to deal with Turtle and Smoothie. Smoothie only level 4 at this point in the game, so he has been rotating around a little bit, but WildTurtle being level 7, they are very, very comfortable having this Tristana scale up and be powerful, in addition to just the normal strength that you get from leveling up. Remember that Tristana does get the bonus range on every single level, making Turtle that much more scary, and it looks like Dignitas are making the call. Hey, back away, this could be really bad. They could be bringing people down here for a dive, and with Olaf hanging around, that is exactly what CLG would be able to do if Dignitas did not retreat.
I mean, one problem here is despite the fact that Dig is up gold, it's all on Nidalee. And at a certain point in the game, you kind of stop caring how much gold Nidalee has, I feel like. And you really start caring about how much gold your Kaisa has, right? And Kaisa's down 40 CS at 9 minutes. And Turtle is now picking up multiple plates. So, yes, the Nidalee is huge, but unless Dardoch can constantly find picks and constantly get kills, that gets a lot less value, right? He is going probably Night Harvester. He is going to try to snowball the game, but Neo has quietly really fallen far behind. And that is concerning for Dignitas because he is going to be an important part of their composition as the game goes further.
Aphromoo about to face check the brush here, but he's Alistar. That's exactly where Alistar wants to be. WildTurtle with a rocket jump away, but the rocket is about to crash back down to Earth. Welcome to the atmosphere, my friend. Neo taking the kill on that one and feeling great about it.
CLG is just kind of throwing away their bot lane advantage. When you see the Alistar face checking, I just don't understand. Why are they going for this? Alistar is 6. When you see him running towards you, you could just jump away. Like, you both have your jump. And Turtle could just buster shot the Alistar right off the bat even, right? To like allow you to get that disengage. And then you just walk away from that, no problem. If the Alistar was pre-6, I would actually understand that because it's phase rushed Alistar and maybe you can burst him down.
Yeah.
But when you see he's level 6, you know he hasn't used his ultimate, or at least I hope you're tracking that. There's just no way you're going to kill him off there.
Okay, CLG, we got to see a little bit of removal of these types of mistakes. Just seems like an easy one to avoid, but considering they give the freebie over, hey, Dignitas is happy about it, man. No point in complaining about a free kill. Pobelter will continue just clearing out waves here in the mid lane. Smoothie is nearby in case Dignitas tried to mount some sort of a dive against him. Junglers will encounter one another around Broxah's red buff, but now, oh no, could this be another dive? Are they just going to kill Finn right off the bat?
Looks like it.
FakeGod stepping forward, a TP showing up. FakeGod continues moving in there, but a good interrupt is going to mean Finn walks away. Can Broxah do the same? Flash out keeps him in a decent enough spot. Still has Ragnarok, so FakeGod doesn't want to do any sort of a flash stun follow-up. Dignitas will not get a kill, but they have total control over the top side, and they can go after these plates. Dardoch summoning up the Rift Herald now. Third plate, excuse me, will be mostly gone by the time Shelly gets off that charge, which means this headbutt should pretty much secure them. First turret of the game. This stupid minions walked in the way, so now Shelly got distracted. She has no attention span, but she does have a really hard head. And there we go. One big old headbutt, couple more little bonks on the turret, and there you go. First turret of the game over to Dignitas.
And that is going to be such a big gold lead at this point for FakeGod. It kind of feels like it's at the point of no return for the 1v1. Finn played it well to escape there. He buffered the ultimate to get that mini interrupt. on FakeGod to create space so he didn't actually have to flash away to avoid that stun, which was nicely played. But the fact that Dignitas had 3 members up to that top side meant even with Broxah around, they couldn't defend the turret, so they lose the tower. Finn loses even more gold, and that is really concerning. I think Dignitas has just understood the strengths of kled as a champion very well. They know he needs to play aggressively, which exposes you to ganks. They know he needs to play from ahead, so they're going to him, they're putting him behind, they're punishing that aggression, and Finn is just kind of being put in the dirt.
Really, really tragic game state right now for the side of CLG. You saw the gold pop up on the left side of your screen just a moment ago. And WildTurtle is kind of the only person who's really competitive with the top earners of Dignitas. And even then, I say competitive as he's only 1,000 gold behind. Dignitas is feeling very comfortable with the current state of the game and the leads that they have on their champions that matter. The Nidalee in particular will have a lot of pressure on her to perform here in the mid-game. We're just about 13 minutes in. Once the turret plates fall and people start rotating around more and we see those larger fights, it will be up to Dardoch to hit value spears, poke these guys down before the engages actually happen, and continue moving the ball forward for Dignitas.
And we may just see them continue to play through side lane, right? You already have this dominant Renekton. You're not worried about a 2v2. You've got 4 kills in the Nidalee. He's going Rocket Belt, which is actually very interesting. I can't say I've seen Rocket Belt Nidalee in pro play at all. You know, generally it's either Night Harvester or you go towards the Moonstaff style of build. So this is pretty interesting. It's going to be some additional playmaking. You know, it's less single target burst. One of the things is nice about it is that it has the passive that actually gives you, I want to say, Magic Pen, the flat pen on it. So it's 5 Magic Penetration.
You mean the mythic stacking thing?
Yeah, the mythic passive.
Okay.
So, you know, that is going to allow you, if you complete multiple items, to get some additional spell pen. Of course, he's not going Sork Boots, so he's not going to get, you know, to a kind of critical mass of that. So to me, it feels mostly about just the playmaking, being able to close the gap, feeling like, hey, I'm so strong that I just need to be able to get to my opponents, and I will kill them. And we'll see if that's going to be the case.
All right, next Drake not alive for 3 minutes. They're tied 1-1 right now, so it's not like there's much to really go to war over here on the current state of Summoner's Rift, but Aphromoo has found Smoothie. Nobody's around in time to turn it into a real punish. Broxah will step forward. WildTurtle about to be killed off. A little bit more damage would have sealed the deal, but Turtle stays alive, just barely. Back in the mid lane, though, the fight continues. CLG looking for a little bit of vengeance here as Aphromoo gets himself away. Alistar just cannot be punished. Dardoch tosses out a spear. Oh, Broxah nearly walking right back into it, but close doesn't really matter here, and everybody walks away.
Yeah, they do force out the flash from Aphromoo and the ultimate. It looked like he actually flashed backwards to absorb the ultimate coming in there from Finn. That is generally how you want to do it. I don't know if the flash was necessary, but you want to have your main tank essentially just step into that, absorb that charge, and shut down the engage. Because then from there, it is very difficult for the kled to actually get past the Alistar. If the Alistar, every time kled ult gets popped, just stands in front, make sure it hits him with the ultimate up, you take very little damage, and then from there, you can actually just headbutt the kled away, and largely he has been disengaged. He's not going to be able to fight through you at that point to get to the Kaisa or the Azir.
Down here in bottom side, let's see if Soligo wants to go after Pobelter. Doesn't look like it. He has no ulti, so no reason to overcommit to a fight where your opponent has more resources available. Soligo's job is just to clear the minions away from this turret. As you can see, CLG is posturing pretty aggressively here. They do have Broxah in the enemy jungle at that chicken camp. But on the Olaf, he is the jungler who is currently behind. Level 9 compared to level 10. Dardoch having so much extra EXP from being a part of those 5 kills for the side of Dignitas. And look at Aphromoo, man. He's just waiting, just in case Pobelter gets a little too hyphy. Soligo's going in, goes forward for the shuffle, but the flash from Pobelter is fast enough.
Yeah, good reaction there from Pobelter. Was a quick attempt from Soligo, but forcing out the flash for the ulti, always a win. And now it's going to be so dangerous for Viktor to actually playing out in that side lane. You could see Finn was actually down in the bottom lane trying to shadow Pobelter in case any sort of over chase happened. Then he could have looked for a play. But it doesn't end up being the case. He's got to get up towards top side to be able to collect this minion wave. And now for Finn, he really is in this position where you're just looking for picks. You know, when you're playing the kled, you're playing from behind, you've got to find side lane plays, got to find engages with that. But CLG being penned in here, they're going to siege up with this Rift Herald, and this tower should just be gone. FakeGod is on a potential flank course here, and will actually spot kled coming in. So FakeGod could just turn on kled potentially.
And that looks like it'll be the case. Shelly will fire off the second headbutt. Azir turret summoned just so Dignitas are not in any sort of danger whatsoever. They'll continue clearing away the waves. Tier 2 turret for the side of CLG is down to about 1/3 HP, but Dignitas know that the Drake is spawning. They should be the ones with priority over the river. They will arrive here first. Blue buff has now respawned in their opponent's jungle. We'll see if Dardoch and Soligo are able to steal that one away just fine. Yes, they are. Does end up on Dardoch. But considering Soligo still has his entire mana bar ready to go, they aren't too worried about it. Now let's see if CLG really wants to face check here. Smoothie losing half his HP, nearly the rest, as the Void Seeker and the Spear from the Nidalee both barely missed their target. And with control over the bottom side river, free Drake for Dig.
Yep. And I think, honestly, it's better to have the blue buff on Dardoch at this point because he went the Rocket Belt route. You don't have any mana from your mythic item, right? You haven't built up any, whereas Leandry's does have the Lost Chapter as that build path, so Soligo will be a lot more okay with that. Dardoch playing with the Rocket Belt, if you're just spamming out spears, you're going to go so fast, but Dig moving around the map, taking down yet another tower here. They're going to extend the gold lead. Really looking good in this one, have been very proactive. Then we'll try to clear this out, and it looks like it will be effective. As Kaisa did go back to base, they didn't actually commit to finishing this off. He wanted to be able to answer the top lane push, but still looking good.
All right, back here in the mid lane, FakeGod arrives with the TP in time to protect the Tier 1 turret. CLG is still without a single turret taken here in this game. They got no turrets, Azael. There's no turrets. These boys got to pick up some structures.
Yeah, I know. They got to go to school, you know, get a degree, learn how to build some turrets. We'll see if we can get anything going.
I'm not talking about building them, damn it. I'm talking about killing them. We need to find the stuff that the other guys built and knock it over. And I know an Azir turret does not count. Does not count. CLG's got to shore up this.
Get him, you know, even if it is just that Azir turret. And really, I mean, Azir turret does a lot of damage, but it's not very durable. It's kind of like you build a cardboard fort and then you put a cannon inside it, right? Like it can still put out some punishment, but that thing is going to not last very long.
No. If it rains and the cardboard gets soggy, congratulations. Your mom just told you to clean up that pile of garbage in the front yard and throw it out. Well, that's about what the Azir turret is like after a while, but Dignitas are still managing to keep everything protected here. Having taken 2 turrets themselves, they're almost at a 4,000 gold lead here 19 minutes into the game. They're feeling all right. Yes, they aren't continuing to build up the kills by great margins. It's still only 5-1 like it has been for quite a while, but considering the lead keeps on building, why force the issue?
Yep, they are not really being pressured whatsoever. They have control. They've been pushing the pace as far as, you know, less about kills, but more about structures. They're grabbing some dragons for themselves. You can see they have the Azir down in this bottom lane, looking to try to knock down another turret while they're pressuring mid. And they just feel like they're pretty comfortable playing towards a potential Soul or Baron, looking for the picks as they do find them, and not feeling that they have to overforce.
Alrighty, CLG. You guys are going to have to find us something here to have a chance because it doesn't feel like they've really got any angles. It doesn't feel like there's much of a plan right now to be able to stop this other than, hey, scale it up. We've got Tristana. If Tristana hits level 18 and 6 items, we can win the game. But that doesn't seem like a particularly effective strategy when things are going bad everywhere else on the map. Now, it looks like Pobelter might be able to get away, but no, sir, the Hail Mary from downtown. It connects, and Neo shows up to catch his own pass and cash in for the second kill that he got this game.
That was so nice from Neo. Long-range W there, nails Pobelter. Without the flash, there was no way for him to avoid that one, and now it's straight onto the Baron here. They want to force, at the very least, a TP from Finn, and if he's not going to TP, they're just going to kill this. It will go down quickly. Kaisa, Azir, feels like every single game paired up, shredding through Barons.
It's so difficult to stop these two from doing it, so let's see if CLG can make it happen. Baron's down to 3K. Dignitas make the call to back off before it gets instealable smite range. That means that CLG have accomplished their goal of at least holding this off for the time being.
Yep, they do that, but at the same time, as Dig, you just really wanted to force out the TP, right? They weren't going to commit to that until they could get some sort of a turn or force out the teleport. They get that teleport out. Here is the previous play, long range, perfect aim there from Neo. Pobelter trying to turn back to dodge, but not enough time to do so. Neo grabbing that allows them to get not only the kill, but the teleport and the ultimate out of Finn. And without that, they could go right back to the Baron, honestly, if they want. You know, anytime Finn shows on bot side now without teleport, you can threaten this. You know, there's really hardly any better combos in the game than the Azir and Kaisa when it comes to killing objectives.
Broxah throws an axe over the wall just to check, because he knows how easy it is for them to show up and just take that swiftly with the top laner on the other end of the map. Now, right now, Pobelter does still have a teleport ready to go, so they may just be swapping out Pobelter and Finn's positions on the side of CLG, have Finn be closer to the pit so he can rotate over with the ulti, put Pobelter elsewhere on the map so he can TP in with the global. But man, 4,500 gold lead now. It keeps climbing up by 500 or 600 every time I check in on it, but it does not stop. Dignitas continues building the lead. 12 seconds until the Infernal Drake shows up here yet again. Dignitas already with 2 Drakes collected. They would love to grab this one, move on to the Soul Point. Aphromoo with a nice initiation here with a headbutt pull, but Smoothie's turning it right back around. Neo gets away, Smoothie does not. Aphromoo wants to jump right back out of the fight here. Dignitas have taken a 1 for nothing. But CLG still have higher quality health bars on the remaining 4 men. Now let's see if Dignitas can translate this into an objective take here. They still have heals from Dardoch that'll help keep these guys topped off. Nice spear connecting onto WildTurtle, taking him down to about half HP. FakeGod and Aphromoo still ready to go here on this front line, have cooldowns now. Infernal Drake down to 2,500 HP. Neo putting the work in on that one. Aphromoo starting off the fight, a little bit more damage poured in, and there you go. Dardoch unstoppable as Finn tries to get away. Dardoch lands another spear with a follow-up damage over the wall, and lightning strikes. Electrocute from Soligo ends up picking up the kill as he goes over the wall. Pobelter still hanging around here as Dardoch steals away the Gromp. At least Pobelter will take that back, but a Gromp traded for 4 kills and a Drake? Worst trade deal. History of trade deals, definitely ever. No.
Yeah, it's not what they wanted to see. They go for the engage, and Smoothie honestly had a very good turn here. You know, gets comboed, but then finds both Dardoch and Neo. They just didn't have the follow-up there, didn't have the damage coming through, as Soligo and FakeGod warded members away from continuing that. And then Aphro just finds the angle. 3 members stack up. He goes in, even getting out with his life thanks to the ulti, and they're able to chase down even more kills here as the spear landed. The lightning strikes, as you said, the electro finishing him off, and Dignitas now over 6,000 gold ahead. 1 Dragon off soul. The item completions are coming through left and right. You can see 2 to 2.5 items really across the board here for Dignitas. Well, it feels like most people on CLG are just 1 in pieces.
CLG has, I don't want to say it again. I don't want to say they've got to find a way to stabilize this, because it feels like that's just been the story for so long. We reached the mid game. The tragedy for CLG this game is that they didn't even have the good early phases that they've had in the past, right? Yes, they managed to grab the first blood in the bottom side river after the bit of a mistake from Aphromoo, but then immediately thereafter they have a bad fight in the top side river. The game turns south, and it's been heading further south the entire time. So I'm just struggling to find that silver lining here for CLG in this game, because the whole damn thing looks like a rain cloud, Isaac.
Yeah, I feel like, to be honest, that dragon fight may have been, their best shot, because there was a lot of low health bars, and they had, full HP on multiple carries there. They weren't able to get in. They stacked up. They got comboed. They got taken down, and now it is going to be really tough here. FakeGod just trying to stop any potential TP from Pobelter to come in there. They start up the Baron, but they will pull off. If they can just continue the game longer and longer and longer and get WildTurtle, get Pobelter to a really strong point, maybe they can make something happen.
Aphromoo jumping in, and Neo's right beside him. Olaf trying to provide a little bit of pressure here, but Smoothie's finding the Magnet Storm here off to the other side. Shutdown coming through as Finn grabs a kill on the enemy AD carry. Soligo's going to be kept alive here for a moment. FakeGod grabbing a return kill on the enemy jungler. Broxah is down. Let's see if WildTurtle's able to escape. Yes, he will. Stasis for Dardoch. Shut down onto Soligo, and that one is big. Pobelter grabbing one onto Aphromoo now, too. CLG, do you believe it? They take a fight, and they're still alive here in this game.
As soon as you stop believing, that's when they start performing. It's the age-old story of CLG. We just had to doubt them a little bit more. Think that it's out of reach for sure this time. And CLG comes up with the team fight win there. A big one for them, as they're able to find the turnaround here. WildTurtle actually got interrupted on his jump, but Neo used his jump very early on, and Broxah is right on top of him. Finn is able to get back to that back line and actually finish off the Kaisa. And then I want to see what actually killed him. Was that explosive shot on the Renekton there? It was. They lost track of it. I was wondering how he actually killed him there, because I know he wasn't hitting Soligo, and their E was actually on Renekton, and Soligo just didn't realize that the explosive charge was about to detonate, so stayed on top. That blows up and gives Turtle the kill, which also gives him a reset and allows him to jump away. So a pretty big mistake there. Dignitas still in control, still up a couple thousand gold, but CLG with a huge win, both for confidence and for game state.
He walked on top of the bomb. Wow, what a big error there that ends up giving CLG a fight. Okay, signs of life for Counter Logic Gaming. Spear flies out, doesn't find a target. CLG getting into a bit of a scrap here on the top side against FakeGod, but Finn backs away. Next Drake's in 25 seconds. CLG cannot afford to lose any ground, send anybody home, whatever. This is Infernal Soul for their opponents. That is thousands of gold worth of value if Dignitas secure this next Drake. What is the response from CLG?
Well, and Pobelter's spotted, and he's actually split from his team, so now this is pretty awkward. We'll have to see, because Dardoch is on that side. He's actually going to try to pick Pobelter as he comes across. We'll see. CLG is regrouping, so they are going to be together as a squad. Turtle's pushing out mid, but they've got to watch out for these Aphromoo engages, because time and time again, they have grouped as they go through.
Well, it's Smoothie starting it off this time. Broxah's already got the kill on Neo. FakeGod's about to die now, too. CLG finally being brave enough to go in to make a big play, and it rewards them with the enemy AD carry. There's still 4 alive on the side of Dig, though. This is not over yet. CLG must be able to see this through if they want to stop this soul take. Broxah has his smite, so does Dardoch. Drake down to 3,500. Dardoch into the stasis immediately right now. FakeGod having to try to run back. Pobelter grabbing a kill there. Dardoch's now your target. No stasis left to go. Aphromoo with a 2-man knockup. Finn's still on the chase, running like crazy, but it's a double kill back to POB. Finn will retreat now at this point. Spear flies out, but it won't find anyone of value. Pobelter continues moving forward, looking for a little bit more damage onto Soligo. Needs to find something else now. The stasis comes in. The laser goes down. Dignitas are ace, and CLG will stop the soul.
And they continued trying to get more there. Soligo and Dardoch refusing to give up on the play, end up just giving over their lives. And now CLG can take the Baron and get control of this game once more. And now watch Aphromoo. Smoothie goes in, and Aphro goes for the combo, but he actually gets interrupted by Finn's ultimate on his combo. So the headbutt gets knocked out of the air, and as a result, the Pulverize misses everyone, so the counter engage does not come through because of a beautifully timed kled ultimate there. On the CLG side, they kill off Neo immediately, and then it was just about the extended play. You know, they're playing from such an advantage. They find the flash in, Finn getting on top of Dardoch with the attract repel from that Rell, able to force out the Zonias, and then it's really just the chase down. And Soligo and Dardoch needed to fully bail out, but they wanted to try to scrape something out of this. But as Soligo steps back, now your E's on cooldown, you've walked too close to Pobelter, and he's going to be able to chase in and grab these last couple kills.
This just feels a bit disrespectful from Dignitas. Sticking around that long there with the last 2 players alive, thinking, okay, we're the better team. Clearly, we should be able to pick something up at the end of this. We can't just have a fight go that bad. But holy Pobe, man, the notorious P.O.B. 7,755 damage in that last team fight. Is that more? 6,000 plus 4. Yeah, that's more than the whole enemy team put together. The whole enemy team put together. Or wait, maybe my math's bad. I don't know. It's close. It's close to the whole enemy team put together. There's a region.
The other team has small numbers.
Yes, their numbers suck. And Pobelter's did not in that last team fight. Pobelter popped off in a way that can keep this team alive and keep them going in this game against Dignitas. Armed with a Baron buff, CLG are finally in control, and they're taking things to the Dignitas base itself. FakeGod gets caught out of position here by the ulti from the kled. Pobelter goes unstoppable. CLG marching down the mid lane, looking for their first inhibitor turret here of the game. Spears continue to fly out, but CLG does a good job playing around their own minions to dodge those and tank the hits. Broxah will continue leading the charge here for the squad. WildTurtle just needs to get those auto attacks in on the inhibitor, but they do not want to overcommit. They do not want to allow Dignitas a position of strength back in this game. Cardboard Castle summoned up, but not in time to protect that inhibitor. See you later. Azir turret will only continue to do so much, as up here on the top side, Finn is already priming the next wave here for CLG.
They have collected so much gold already, plus 4,100 gold on the Red Bull Baron so far. And it's not ending yet. I mean, FakeGod's still not back up. Tristana destroys these towers, but Turtle has to be a bit careful.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. Just sticking around the wrong spot for 2 seconds is 2 seconds too many. So CLG are happy to get out of here. They are happy to take what they got. The inhibitor in mid lane, the inhibitor turret in the top side. This is an incredible comeback, an incredible throw, or a little bit of both, Azael.
Yeah, I would say a little bit of column A, a little bit of column B. I think that CLG has done a great job playing out in some of these team fights they've been victorious in. Smoothie finding big engages, and in back-to-back fights, they were able to kill off Neo very early on. You know, that really was the difference, both in that mid-lane fight that CLG won, as well as the one over by the Dragon, is they got to the key target, they got to the Kaisa, they killed her off right to begin. And that just put them in such a position of power because there was no longer enough threat over on the Dignitas side. When you have so much gold in the pockets of Dardoch here on this Nidalee, he just can't do that much in a 5v5 compared to some of these other champions. So CLG now in a pretty big position of power. Turtle and Pobelter are way ahead of their counterparts. They have gotten a tremendous amount of gold. You can see the gold lead that Dignitas had built up. It was up to 6,000 plus gold. They are now down 3,800 at the worst. So an incredible swing of nearly 10,000 gold there.
Absolutely wild, wild stuff from CLG coming back in this game. This is the kind of things people want to see. This veteran squad finding the opportunities and the angles to come back into the game even from a deficit. Dardoch stuck in the stasis. Broxah after him here with a Ragnarok, grabbing the kill on that one. Pobelter wanting to get himself away. Shurima Shuffle coming in. Smoothie grabbing the kill onto Aphromoo. Soligo stuck in the middle and he's about to die. Finn's grabbing a follow-up kill here. Now look at what CLG is doing, running down the remaining players on Dignitas. FakeGod's the last man standing, and he makes a real nice pair of crocodile boots. It was a huge comeback. It was a huge play. It was a Bud Light ace, and CLG will double their wins and take down Dignitas.
That is so big for CLG, for the confidence of the team. Not only do they take down a team that is up near the top of the table, they do it in astounding fashion here, coming back from nearly 7,000 gold. Finn and Broxah hugging it out, looking really happy about that. And to do it as well with the pocket pick, the kled was not working in the early game, was preyed on heavily by Dignitas, but was critical in a lot of these team fights. At the Dragon fight, rejecting the engage coming through from Aphromoo with some really good timing on that kled ult. The knock-up actually interrupted the headbutt pulverized from Aphromoo, then utilizing that again to catch out Neo in one circumstance, to catch out FakeGod on that pick that did eventually end to that game-ending play. So really big stuff here from CLG. Back in the win column, and it's one step towards righting the ship.
So, I mean, is it too early to say this? CLG win in spring? Am I going to have to gift 1,000 subs after all? CLG is gonna win spring? Like, am I worried now?
Will
is CLG going to win spring?
Win Worlds.
Ah, yes. Spring is not enough. They got to go straight to Worlds, get the dub. I mean, hey, jokes aside, it was an incredible comeback that CLG was able to make in this game to find the opportunities from the deficit that they were at, especially against a team that is one of the better teams in the league right now in Dignitas. So, hey, hats off to CLG for that one. Congratulations to this squad. Broxah, I am looking forward to seeing the positive mental tweet now that you don't have to think about what to tweet anymore. Well deserved to CLG. We're going on a break here one more time. After that, Riv's going to be talking with Broxah himself in the Verizon post-game interview.